Stop asking yourself, why is this happening to me? That's the one question keeping you stuck. The ancient Stoics had a completely different approach to life's biggest challenges, and it starts with asking better questions. Today, I'm going to share 12 questions that philosophers used 2,000 years ago, and honestly, they hit different when you're going through something tough. Look, I'm not going to pretend like I have all the answers, but what I do know is that the way we think shapes everything. And the Stoics, these ancient philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, they figured out something incredible. They realized that the questions you ask yourself determine the quality of your life. Not your circumstances, not your luck, just the questions running through your head every single day. So I spent weeks digging through their writings, and I pulled out 12 questions that genuinely changed how I see things. And I'm betting at least a few of these are going to hit you the same way they hit me. Here's the thing, most of us walk around asking the wrong questions. We ask, why me, when bad stuff happens. We ask, what if I fail? Before we even try something new. We ask, why can't things be easier, when life gets hard? And all these questions do is make us feel worse. They don't solve anything. They just keep us spinning in the same mental loops, feeling stuck, frustrated, and powerless. The Stoics understood something we forget all the time. Your brain is basically a question-answering machine. Whatever you ask it, it's going to try to answer. Ask a bad question, get a bad answer. Ask a powerful question, and suddenly your whole perspective shifts. It's that simple, but nobody talks about it this way. All right, let's get into these questions. I'm going to break them down one by one. And I want you to really think about each one. Don't just read it and move on. Actually pause and consider what it means for your life right now. Question 1. What is within my control right now? This is the foundation of everything in Stoicism. Epictetus said that some things are up to us and some things aren't. And the secret to peace of mind is knowing the difference. When something goes wrong, your first move should be asking this question. You can't control what other people think about you. You can't control the weather. You can't control the economy or politics or what happened in your past. But you can control your effort, your attitude, your response, your next decision. When you focus only on what's in your control, suddenly life becomes way less overwhelming. You stop wasting energy on things you can't change and you put all that power into the things you actually can change. Question 2. Is this actually as bad as I'm making it out to be? Our minds love to exaggerate. Something small happens, and within minutes we've turned it into a disaster. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Think about that. Most of the pain you feel isn't coming from what's actually happening. It's coming from the story you're telling yourself about what's happening. So when you're stressed or anxious, stop and ask yourself this question. Is losing that client really the end of your career? Is that awkward conversation really going to ruin your reputation forever? Usually the answer is no. Usually you're just scaring yourself with worst-case scenarios. That probably won't even happen. This question brings you back to reality and helps you see things as they actually are, not as your anxious mind thinks they are. Question 3. What would I tell a friend in this situation? This one is sneaky good. We're way harder on ourselves than we are on other people. If your friend came to you with the same problem you're dealing with, you'd probably be kind, supportive, and reasonable. You'd help them see perspective. You'd remind them of their strengths. But when it comes to our own problems, we beat ourselves up. We catastrophize. We forget all our past wins and focus only on this one setback. So flip the script. Give yourself the same advice you'd give someone you care about. Treat yourself like you're someone worth helping because you are. Question 4. Will this matter in 5 years? Seneca talked a lot about time and how we waste it on things that don't matter. This question is your reality check. That argument you had? That mistake at work? That embarrassing thing you said? In 5 years, will anyone even remember it? In 5 years, will it have affected your life in any meaningful way? Most of the time, the answer is no. We get so caught up in the moment that we lose perspective on what actually matters long term. Your health matters in 5 years. Your relationships matter in 5 years. Your character matters in 5 years. But most of the stuff we stress about today, it's just noise. This question helps you figure out what deserves your energy and what doesn't. Question 5. What can I learn from this? Every single thing that happens to you is either a good experience or a good lesson. The Stoics believed that obstacles are actually opportunities in disguise, not in some fake positive way, but in a real practical way. When something goes wrong, there's always something to learn. Maybe you learn what not to do next time. Maybe you learn who your real friends are. Maybe you learn that you're stronger than you thought. Maybe you learn a new skill because you had to figure something out. The point is, nothing is wasted if you're willing to learn from it. This question turns every setback into a setup for something better. Question 6. Am I living according to my values right now? Complaining feels productive, but it's not. It's just rehearsing your problems without doing anything about them. The Stoics had zero patience for complaining. Either do something about the problem or accept it and move on. Those are your only two options. Sitting in the middle, just talking about how bad things are, that doesn't help anyone, especially not you. So catch yourself when you start complaining. Then ask, what's one small thing I can do about this right now? Even if you can't solve the whole problem, you can probably take one tiny step forward. And action, even small action, feels way better than helpless complaining. Question 12. How do I want to be remembered? This is the big one. Marcus Aurelius knew he was going to die. He thought about it regularly, not in a morbid way, but as a reminder to live well. Because at the end of your life, none of the stuff you worried about will matter. The only thing that matters is the kind of person you were and how you treated people. So think about it. When you're gone, what do you want people to say about you? That you were kind, reliable, brave, generous, honest? That you made a difference? That you were there when it mattered? Let that answer guide your choices today, because every day is a chance to become the person you want to be remembered as. Here's what blows my mind about these questions. The Stoics weren't living in some perfect world. Marcus Aurelius was dealing with constant war, a deadly plague, betrayal from people he trusted, and the pressure of running an empire. Epictetus was born a slave. Seneca was exiled and eventually forced to take his own life. These weren't people with easy lives giving shallow advice. They were people in really hard situations who figured out how to stay sane, strong and good anyway, and they did it by asking themselves better questions. They didn't have control over their circumstances, but they had complete control over their thoughts, and that made all the difference. The same is true for you. You might not be able to change what's happening around you, but you can always change the questions you're asking yourself about it. And when you change your questions, you change your focus. When you change your focus, you change your feelings. When you change your feelings, you change your actions. And when you change your actions, you change your life. It really is that connected. So let me leave you with this. These 12 questions aren't just intellectual exercises. They're tools. And like any tool, they only work if you actually use them. You can't just read this once and expect your life to transform. You have to practice. You have to catch yourself in those moments when you're spiraling or stuck or stressed. And you have to interrupt that pattern by asking a better question. What's in my control? Is this as bad as I think? What can I learn? What would my best self do? How do I want to be remembered? Start with just one. Pick the question that hit you the hardest and use it this week. Write it down. Put it on your phone. Set a reminder. Whatever you need to do to actually remember it when things get tough. Because that's when these questions matter most. Not when everything's going great, but when life is testing you and you need a way to think clearly. The Stoics proved that you don't need perfect circumstances to live a good life. You just need the right mindset. And the right mindset starts with the right questions. You've got 12 of them now. Use them. They worked 2,000 years ago, and they still work today. If these questions spoke to you, take a moment to breathe and subscribe to Stoic Light. Together, we'll keep walking the path of calm, wisdom, and inner freedom.